And now to the investigation of Biden family corruption. The House Oversight Committee today released its findings that Hunter Biden received at least $20 million from foreign entities in Ukraine, China, and other countries. The committee's memo also reveals that then Vice President Biden joined Hunter along with his foreign oligarch clients for dinner at an exclusive D.C. restaurant. Joining us now is Barr, a former Republican congressman from Georgia and former U.S. attorney. Congressman Barr, welcome back to the show. Good to see you this evening, sir.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. Good to be with you all.
Okay, so we are starting to see mounting evidence essentially refuting Joe Biden's repeated claims that he knew nothing about his son's business dealings. And now these new reports that he was actually at a dinner with these oligarchs with his son. We've heard Speaker McCarthy suggest that Republicans should open an impeachment inquiry to get to the bottom of this. Do you think that that should be their next move?
It definitely should be. And this is a perfect example of the difference between a criminal investigation and an impeachment inquiry. Even though an impeachment inquiry can certainly and should be looking for violations of criminal laws, high crimes and misdemeanors, so to speak, by a president, you're not circumscribed by looking for specific elements to prove beyond a reasonable doubt, which is what a criminal investigation would be looking at. So this is exactly the type of situation that calls for an inquiry of impeachment, especially because this Department of Justice under this Attorney General clearly has no interest whatsoever in getting to the bottom of what stinks to high heavens with regard to foreign payments to the Biden family.
So there's so much smoke right now, but there's no concrete evidence to actually absolutely say that Joe Biden was in the wrong here. So is this something that should be left up to the voters in 2024 to determine what happens to Joe Biden, or should this be left up to Congress at the end of the day?
Congress has a responsibility in this case that's independent of the executive branch, independent of the judiciary, and in a sense, independent of the voters in the short term. Congress has an oversight responsibility to ensure that not only are our laws carried out in accordance with the intent of the laws passed by Congress, but also that high officials, such as a president, for example, are held to a high standard of operating within the bounds of no high crimes and misdemeanors. So, yes, the voters ultimately should be the ones who decide this, but Congress plays a key role right now in bringing evidence forward to not only inform themselves about whether or not impeachable offenses have occurred, but also to inform the voters of what this president has done, is doing from a political standpoint.
You know, it's interesting because we have seen the president say this over and over again, as I mentioned. At what point does the president need to come out and say, I mean, this mounting evidence, yes, I was not honest with you? Is he responsible as the president of the United States to do something like that in the last 30 seconds?
He's not going to. Even President Nixon had the responsibility and the courage and the ethics to go before the American people, admit wrongdoing, and resign. It's very clear in today's environment with this president that he has no interest whatsoever in leveling with the American people, and there appear to be no leaders in the Democrat Party, as there were in the Republican Party with Nixon, to force him to do so.
All right, Congressman Bob Barr, great to see you this evening on the road from Colorado. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, Lindsay.